Hello all. So we have a midterm coming up. So just a quick review of the topics that you're going to need to do, some information about the midterm. I did want you to know that I'm going to supply this sheet for you. This is going to be attached to the back of your midterm. And these are the formulas that I'm going to provide for you. So these will be, you don't have to memorize these. I will provide these formulas. These are from Chapter 1 and 2.1 and 2.2, the formulas that you may need. You may not need them, but you may need them. So that will be provided for you. Your test that you're going to have, let's look at all of them. It's going to cover everything from 1.1 to 2.2. So that's what your midterm is on. So when we think back to linear equations, so we have slope-intercept form, we have parallel lines, perpendicular lines. We're looking at functions, and that's when I think we talked about difference quotients, the formula that is provided on that sheet if you may need it. And again, this is where we had some more of the word problems in the homework, and on the unit test and on the paper test. So I want you to be aware of those type ideas. And the most recent section, we have these parent functions, which again, you can use Desmos to help work some things out when you're thinking about transformations of these functions. If something is, dropped 3, so I just have a transformation. It was a shift. If I label it as a function, there's lots of different things I can do with that just by playing with the function itself. I can show, oh, my reflection on y turns out to be the same thing. What does the opposite of my function look like? And so it'll give you a visual of the transformations. So again, you can use Desmos on your test. We are in a computer lab, so make sure you make use of Desmos when doing this. The combination of functions, and a lot of times there were some questions I've received from the domain. So make sure that you are, adding or subtracting, multiplying, dividing, or composing the functions correctly. But then think about the domain. Do I have any of my functions? Is my denominator going to be 0 somehow, or am I going to have a negative number underneath a radical, a square root? So again, things to pay attention to from what we've done. Mathematical modeling. Again, in the video, I show you how to do a regression. And so, here's a simple one right now, just for the basics. So if you have these 2 points, these 2 dots, right, I can easily get the equation of a line. I could do that from information from that first unit, just with 2 points. Or I could have Desmos do it for me. And I get, here's my slope, which would be 2/3, and my y-intercept would be 3 2/3. So make sure that you are able to create a line of best fit, least squares regression, as we call it. And then we have the stuff from 2.1 and 2.2 when we're dealing with quadratic equations, finding, what are we finding? We're finding a standard form, which means we're finding the vertex, understanding what the vertex is. It's where the min or max occurs, increasing or decreasing of our functions or our polynomials, solving, which typically the solving that you're going to be responsible for is going to be something that is factorable. So you can set it equal to 0 and factor it to find your zeros, find where the x-intercepts are. Again, you should be able to check your work by looking at Desmos, and that's with your tests and your paper tests and your midterms and your finals. So again, you can always check your work with Desmos, but there's some things that we're going to need to see done algebraically, and some things that you can just give a response to. as far as your midterm, like we've kind of talked about everything that's going to be on your midterm in the past 4 minutes. If you're looking for some additional practice, what I would suggest in the textbook, there are these review exercises if there's something that you're struggling with that I've talked about for Chapter 1, and you can go to the review exercises for the particular sections of 2.1 and 2.2. So please make sure you bring your picture ID. It's between 12 and 8, the midterm is. And if you want to bring a calculator, you can. I'm going to provide you with that formula sheet for your test. And do awesome. While I have you here, though, I want to do two quick things. In Blackboard, under course content, there are, let me get logged back in. There are those instructor section videos. And so I want to make sure that y'all are aware of these. I've had people ask me questions that I've done the exact same problem in a video. So these are extra resources for you that I would hope that you use. I think it will be helpful for you. So you have access to these videos. Also in WebAssign, like when you do a question, typically over to the right there's a Ask My Instructor, or there's a message. You can message your instructor when you're doing these in your view. And what happens is I get messages from y'all about the particular problem. So please make sure that you're asking these questions. I want you to ask questions. Please make sure you're skimming the chapters and watching the videos. But then ask me questions on, why is this not correct? I also have some people that are using their phones and taking a picture of the work they've done and then emailing it to me. And then I could write some information down and then email it to you. Take a picture and then email it back. So it's a great way for us to communicate. So please let me know if you have any questions. Midterm is on Friday, and good luck, and I'll see some of y'all there. I'll be in there, I believe, from 7 to 8 o'clock at night. But again, if you want to stop by earlier, I will be around on Friday. Have a great day.